Hello everyone and welcome to my CS24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island. Is the island linked to missing treasure from a nearby French fortress? This week on The Curse of Oak Island, the team learns of a connection between the island and the missing treasure from the nearby Louisbourg fortress, which vanished in the 1740s. Recent episodes of the show have been fast-paced and super exciting, but unfortunately this one was slower. But perhaps a small break from all the excitement will do us good. The most interesting aspect of this week's episode centered around the iron ox shoes that the guys recently found on the island and their possible connection to the Louisbourg fortress located about several hundred miles to the northeast of Oak Island. This imposing French battlement fell to English colonists in 1745, and it swapped hands between French and British forces several times over the next few years. And as it happens, rumors are rife that a large quantity of treasure went missing from the fortress during all the years of commotion. Last night, the Louisbourg-based historian, Sarah McGuinness, told the Oak Island team that the ox shoes they have at the fortress match the ones found on the island. The ox shoes belong to the British military, which begs the question, did men from their ranks take the treasure and bury it on Oak Island? It would certainly explain a lot. Oak Island team continued searching Samuel Ball's 19th century landholdings. Elsewhere on the island, Gary Drayton and Rick Lagina unearthed an interesting-looking object on the land of former Oak Island farmer Samuel Ball. Ball had been a former slave who fought for the British during the Revolutionary War before becoming a cabbage farmer on Oak Island in the 19th century. He died a wealthy man owning 100 acres of land, which caused some to wonder if he had found part of the Oak Island treasure. Gary and Rick found a circular metal object with an emblem that looked like a crown and a rose. Gary thought it might be the topper of a walking cane or swagger stick, a ceremonial stick used by the British military. The guys also thought the emblem might reference the English monarchy, who have used the Tudor rose as a symbol ever since the House of Tudor united the House of York with the House of Lancaster in the War of the Roses in the 15th century. The Oak Island team wondered if Samuel Ball had received such an item because he had remained loyal to the crown during the Revolutionary War. They also thought a British officer had left it there after visiting Ball on the island, maybe to discuss the buried treasure. However, neither the Oak Island guys nor Sarah from Louisbourg could adequately identify exactly when and where the emblem came from. Archaeologist Laird Niven confused the issue even further when he stated that he thought the object was not a cane topper at all, but a lipstick cover. Either way, the item clearly needs further analysis. For centuries, Oak Island has been shrouded in mystery. From tales of pirate hordes to whispers of sacred relics, the tiny patch of land off Nova Scotia's coast has drawn treasure hunters into its clutches, each convinced they were on the cusp of solving one of history's greatest riddles. But a new theory has begun to capture the attention of the current team, that the secrets buried deep beneath Oak Island may not be the spoils of pirates or Templars at all, but rather the missing wealth of a French fortress abandoned during the colonial struggles of the 18th century. A fortress on the edge of history. Before Oak Island was etched into folklore, Nova Scotia was a battleground of empires. The French fortress of Louisbourg, once hailed as the Gibraltar of North America, stood proudly on Cape Breton Island, just a day's sail from Oak Island. In the early 1700s, Louisbourg bustled with soldiers, traders, and nobles, its walls guarding not only France's interests in the New World, but also a staggering amount of gold, silver, and trade wealth destined for Europe. When British forces eventually besieged and captured Louisbourg, legends began to circulate of a desperate French effort to spirit away the fortress's riches. Could some of that fortune have found its way into the labyrinthine structures beneath Oak Island? The clues in stone and soil. The Lagina brothers and their team have spent years unearthing unusual structures that don't fit neatly into the accepted narrative of pirate treasure. The stone roadway found in the swamp, massive wharves stretching into the bay, and traces of engineering far more advanced than what one would expect from opportunistic buccaneers, all suggest a coordinated effort by skilled builders. Historians note that French engineers were among the most sophisticated in the world at the time. They built fortresses, tunnels, and secret chambers with meticulous precision. The designs unearthed on Oak Island, flood tunnels, hidden shafts, and carefully placed stone formations could very well be the work of military engineers rather than rogue seafarers. If a French garrison or loyalist faction sought to hide the wealth of Louisbourg before it fell into British hands, Oak Island, with its isolated position and natural defenses, would have been the perfect vault. Legends passed in whispers. Local Acadian families, descendants of French settlers, have long whispered stories of buried treasure hidden away during the chaos of war. Some spoke of wagons laden with chests of coins, relics, and arms vanishing into the coastal fog. Others hinted that priests and officers conspired to conceal religious artifacts looted from European churches and sent across the Atlantic for safekeeping. While such tales might seem fanciful, Oak Island has already produced artifacts linking it to French presence. Coins from the era, fragments of pottery, and even hints of European military equipment have all been found in the island's soil. When combined with the massive infrastructure buried beneath the swamp and money pit, the French fortress theory begins to gain weight. Why hide treasure on Oak Island? Strategically, Oak Island offered anonymity. Unlike Louisbourg, bristling with cannons and in full view of enemy fleets, Oak Island was unassuming, a speck of land that would draw little suspicion. Its natural swamp could be engineered into a hiding place. Its soft earth could be tunneled. Its surrounding waters offered escape routes for ships in case of pursuit. Most importantly, Oak Island sat close enough to Louisbourg for a quick transfer of wealth. A small flotilla could have easily moved chests of treasure under the cover of night, burying them in elaborate traps meant to deter discovery until France regained its foothold in North America. But when the French lost the 7 Years' War and ceded much of their territory, the fortune, if buried, was abandoned, sealed away for centuries. The team's fascination. Rick Lagina often speaks of Oak Island as a puzzle of history, not just a hunt for gold. When the fortress theory arose, his eyes lit with the possibility that the team wasn't just uncovering treasure, but rewriting the history of Nova Scotia itself. Marty Lagina, ever the pragmatist, pressed for evidence. Proof that French engineering or artifacts from Louisbourg linked directly to the shafts and tunnels they've been excavating.